Hello, everybody. How's it going out there in virtual world land? I will be your host today. If you don't know who I am, my name is Jim Carmella. I am our head of coaching. If you could show a little love in the chat box, just comment on the thing, make sure that all my tech is working. You can see my ugly mug, you can hear my beautiful voice, and we'll move on in this happy little amazing thing we're about to get into. So if someone could just do a post or post in a comment, make sure that everybody can see me. That would be fantastic. Hello, Facebook user. Gotta love StreamYard. Still, I don't know why we get Facebook users, and some people are saying, I can see names. Like I can see Wendy. Wendy, how are you? Cool. Thank you for that. Loud and clear. Appreciate it. All right. So let's go ahead and get this thing rocking and rolling. And I'm going to play with this cool little software we've got. There I go. All right. Now my face is smaller and bigger all at the same time. That's fantastic. So today's topic is going to be about how we took a print-on-demand store from Shopify and made $933,016 in 1 year, and how we did it. What kind of products we use, what kind of traffic sources we used. So that is what our topic is going to be about today. Michael has traveled safely down to Florida, so I am covering for him. So I apologize you don't get to see his beautiful face this morning. You're stuck with me, but hopefully I'll make it worth your while. So go ahead and show some love on the post. It definitely helps us get out there, and we help as many merchants as possible. So a little thumbs up. Little comments, a little love. I greatly appreciate it as you go through. Feel free to post questions in the chat or in the, I forget how YouTube does. I think there's a chat in YouTube and comment section on Facebook. So wherever you're watching this from, post a comment, ask your questions, and then there'll be some time later on in the presentation to answer questions. They don't have to be specifically about the topic that we're covering today. It can be about any old thing. And if I see it, then I'll answer it and we'll go from there. So before we get into the topic today, there's some housekeeping that ShineOn wants me to cover. So we're going to get some swag winners for some amazing testimonials that came through this week. So we'll do a recap, and holy cow, it's going to be really hard for me to see. This is very small. Wait, hold on. There it is. Now I can see better. So I lost the chat. Let me get the chat back in. Show chat. Oh, I got to exit full screen to do that. Okay. So bear with me. If you put something in the chat, I'm not going to see it for the next few minutes because I want to make sure that I can read because that was really tiny. So Alex, nothing worthy comes easy. It requires a lot of work. Ain't that the truth? Discipline and dedication. My favorite word about that is perseverance. So I totally agree with Alex, but also the correct guidance. I have to say thank you to Mario. Without scaling strategies, daily numbers wouldn't be possible like this. He did over $11,000 in 1 day. So fantastic. Thank you, Alex. Then we got Stephanie King Estrella. I quit a few years back, right when message cards were coming into style. This month, she made 100 sales. This January, I saw an ad with someone holding up a wad of message card and highlighting their stats. I thought, hey, I know who they're talking about. So she came back, heard about the challenge, finished it in February. Took the course religiously, kept notes, and rewatched parts even after I finished. So you did exactly what you're supposed to do, because the challenge is not designed to be Netflix. Anything we put out is not designed to be like absorbed by Netflix. You can't just watch it and go, that's cool, and not do anything about it. You have to watch a section, put the work in, watch a section, put the work in, and then you get the results. So thank you for that, Stephanie. We got a second one from Stephanie. She celebrated making her first 100 sales last week. And then she followed. So like last week, she broke the 100 sale mark of her total journey with ShineOn. This week, or the week following that, she did 100 sales in that 1 week. So that is a fantastic job. I love the scaling story. And hopefully next week we'll get even higher from that. So congratulations, Stephanie, there. Elias. Let's finish Mother's Day strong. This is my yesterday's results. This is only Facebook ads. I love the process. It's not easy. It just needs a third eye and comes with good research, gold nuggets from coaches out there like Kirst, Jim, Mario, and also e-com groups. So thank you, Elias. I love having you in the masterclass. You are a joy to be around, and I love seeing your progress and your work ethic. It's phenomenal. So congrats, Elias. And then Valeria. Hi, everyone. Joined ShineOn Challenge in January. Made my first sale back then. Since then, I've had no sales, even though I spent some money on testing different products. I was about to give up so many times every second day, to be honest, but I kept going. I kept at it. 2 weeks ago, I decided to try the EU market. She translated her store, or he translated his store, created some new products, and boom, my first 2 sales since January. I don't only made these 2 so important, encouraging sales. I also realized CPMs are very low in the EU market, around $6 to $10, which they are. That's phenomenal. And thank you, ShineOn, for this great opportunity. And the most important part, do not give up. That's awesome. So thank you so much for that great testimonial there. Snazzy, happy Sunday. Let's keep pushing for Mother's Day and start focusing on the dads, graduation, and weddings. My mind is already there. I could not agree more. Especially with the new product category of acrylic that we just launched, which I've got a slide on. It is a whole new, great big blue ocean out there full of opportunities. So this is an exciting time of year that we're getting ready to go into, and a lot of not super competitive niches that could really use some more competition, right? There's a lot of money out there to be made from that stuff. All right, so if you want to get some free swag like these phenomenal folks, every week we randomly draw 2 to 5 posts from the groups to gift some swag. For a chance to get yours, you just simply have to post one of the following in the group: either a testimonial post plus screenshots of your sales showing your success, a value post with what's working for you. So something like, hey, I tried this angle on my ad, or this type of ad creative, or this type of product, or I switched to this niche. Some type of value will get you there just as well. And then also tips, tricks, or hacks to help others succeed. So if you figured out that, hey, doing $1,000 CBO budget on your first initial product test is probably not a good idea, you know, that type of stuff is helpful for new people, because sometimes people come in and they're like, I'm just going to throw a whole bunch of money at this and I'm guaranteed results. And there is a strategy to keep your money and to leverage it as best as possible. So any type of tips, tricks, or hacks, any of those 3 style of posts will get you qualified for a random drawing to get free ShineOn swag. So feel free to participate next week. All right, latest news. And I asked for this. I think this came out last week. And I asked for this to stay in here. This is our acrylics. Now we have 3 different types of acrylics. This is the acrylic plaque. We have the hard acrylic, and then we have the puzzle piece as well. Wedding season is a huge opportunity around this. Okay. General ideas are like anniversaries or celebrating a special day. If you pair this product type, this product category, with an app like Customly or Tea and Blue or Product Personalizer, where they can add their names and customize their names, you could upload a picture to this. I did it. I actually have a sample, just because I wanted to see if it would work. So here's a sample. Whoop. There we go. So my wife and I, for my birthday at the end of April, went to Disney World. It was just adults. And if you've never done it as an adult, absolutely recommend doing that. But it is crystal clear quality. All I did was through a dynamic image uploady thing from Customly, so I could upload my image right on the product page. And I just wanted to see what the product quality would look like, because, hint, hint, I'll be running things like this with uploaded picture opportunities for wedding season coming up this coming month. And the reason I like wedding season is billions of dollars are spent on gifts and placeholders and all kinds of knickknacks every single year. And it lasts. It's like, go check my work, go to Google Trends and type in wedding gifts. And you'll see every year there's a spike starting in June, ending in August. That's the summer months coming up, right? So it's like you do Father's Day, get that bump, and then go right into wedding season. It is a huge trend where lots and lots of money is spent every single year. So take advantage of that. So that's why I had that slide text. Best way to stay caught up is check out our featured section in the group. So you want to click on that, and that'll be like where our our value bombs, our Coffee with Michaels, are stored there. So if you really want to stay connected and caught up on the latest from ShineOn, specifically, not just group members, check out the featured posts, because our content will be there, plus product launches or any updates and cutoffs and things like that for different holiday shipping times. All right, let's go ahead and get this thing started. So I think I finally just realized that our fun little gifts, and I didn't have a chance to put my ugly mug in here. So there's still Michael. Michael would normally be jumping into the coffee mug, and unfortunately we don't have that. because I don't know why that. So I uploaded the slide deck into StreamYard so I could present like this, and the GIFs aren't animating. So boo StreamYard. Anyway, so we're going to get going on the nuts and bolts of this presentation. So before we have to do the digital marketers toast. I am not Michael, so I'm not going to do this as well. But Michael, I'm going to do my darndest. Okay, so raise up your glasses, mugs, bottle, or flasks, and join me now for the digital marketers toast. Here's to more conversions, more cash, cheap CPMs, and lower CACs, to higher CTRs, much higher CVRs, to enabled ad accounts and big bank accounts, to upsells, downsells, and cross sells, to winning products and repeat sales, to the thing that everybody knows: the riches are in the niches, but also in your email flows. Cheers. All right, now I feel like we can actually get going. And I don't feel weird at all not drinking coffee in the morning. I'm not a coffee person, so I'm a fizzy water guy. All right, here we go. Nuts and bolts. So what is possible? Just to show you that, I'm not just talking out of things. Last year, we had one store literally do $933,016.45 in sales. Now, it wasn't our biggest store, but this store was very unique, and that's why I wanted to point out this store and kind of talk about how we did it with this store, because it was not your bread and butter. It was not your normal. Make sure Jim can see your name when you comment. Okay, cool. It is not your normal stuff that is sold. Now, it's ShineOn stuff for sure, but it's not the normal stuff. So that's why I chose this store to talk about today, because I want to do something different. So how was it different? Well, all of the sales came from graphic products like our graphic dog tag, our graphic hearts, or buyer upload products, versions of those same things. So hearts, so it's written down. I want to say it daily. It is. I'll see if I can get, I don't know who said that because it's Facebook user. So Facebook user, I don't know your name, so I can't send it to you. If you want, let me know later, and I'll see if I can get you a copy. But I have to get it cleared for Michael first, because it's his baby, so I don't want to just pass it around the interwebs. I guess worst case, you could write it down and like play it back and then type it out or whatever. So, anyways, so this store focused on graphic products, buyer upload products, so not your traditional message card. So I know that the message card gets most of our attention. It is the most popular product category that we offer. However, it is not necessarily the easiest to get into every single time, right? It just depends. You have to have the right angle, the right niche, the right message. There's a lot of components in there. And I'm not saying you don't at graphic either, but there's just not as many people trying to sell graphic or buyer upload products. Keep that in mind as you go and you're like, what product do I want to go into? What do I want to sell for wedding season? Maybe you have a really cool groomsman message and you want to do a set of groomsman dog tags, and you have that message put on there, right, for that groomsman. And if you do a custom version of it, you could. So, and you do it as a buyer upload, right? So there's a lot of opportunities out there. The other big difference between this store and the majority of stores out there is we used traffic that was not Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok. They get the most of the attention. So if you're looking for your bread and butter ShineOn store, this is the exact opposite of that. We look at our graphic products, and we use traffic sources outside of the three big ones. And Facebook and Instagram, yes, they're separate entities, even though it's in the same ads manager, right? But Facebook and TikTok get the vast majority of time and energy in how you find the traffic, how you run the ads, how you do creatives for them, and all this. And this store did not do that. We like maybe 5% of our traffic was from TikTok, and we didn't do any Facebook or Instagram. This is examples of some of the products that we ran last year, okay? And I want you to notice something, not so much the design, because the design is your unique aspect. As you, as a professional business owner for your print-on-demand business, it's your job to come up with the ideas. If you're not a great graphic designer, like I am not a great graphic designer, I can put words on things, that's fine. But if I want to do graphic pieces, I will go and find someone on Fiverr or Upwork relatively cheap that does great quality work, and I will pair up with them. I'm going to show you these two products and then a couple other products as well. But I want to point out the difference between a graphic product that you have static, which is what these are, and your message card is obviously the real estate is much smaller. You can't put nearly as many words on a graphical product, but it still uses the same core emotional piece that all of our message cards pretty much use anyway. So the never forget that I love you thing, I dare you to go on Etsy, Amazon, or Facebook, and you go look through and you will see a plethora of products around daughter that start with never forget that I love you. So a research strategy tip, if you want to get into the graphic space, is pick your niche. Maybe you want to do wedding season. Maybe you want to do Father's Day that's coming up. Maybe you want to catch the tail end of graduation season. Go research those particular niches in the marketplaces, in the wild, as I say. So use Google, use the normal researching tactics, right? You use Google, you use Etsy, you use Amazon, you search Facebook, and you find what is being run. If you have the extra money, you could also use spy tools and things like that to get inspiration from. I am for those of you who follow me and learn from me, you know I am a huge proponent of do not steal people's stuff. Okay. It is the quickest way to saturate a market. And if it's already being run, the odds that you are going to get the same results as the primary person that started that thing is slim to none. So if you've ever tried to just, this product's working right now, let me go and steal it, copy it verbatim, and then run it, and then you get shocked at your results not being the same as the other person's, that's why. The algorithm favors who gets there first. It's true, okay? So if you're on a platform and you see something on Facebook and then you directly copy it, Facebook is not going to give you the same quality of traffic because the person already giving them gobs of money for that exact product is going to continue to get favor in the marketplace, in the ad auctions. So my idea for you all is that old, little bit extra work thing of find something that works and then make it better, model after it. Do not straight copy it. All right, so on here, you can see that to my daughter, never forget that I love you. You'll always be daddy's little girl. And then the other one is, I hope you believe in yourself as much as I believe in you. Love, Dad. Right? So the dog tag gives you a little bit more real estate than the heart necklace does. So it's still very simple words. The never forget I love you thing, I promise you, is on at least 5,000 SKUs right now that are being run across the board. It's like the most popular daughter thing ever, the never forget I love you thing. And then you just add some type of eternal promise or some type of emotional ending or hook. Normally, if we're seeing things that work really well, it has a message is broken up with some really good, interesting beginning or hook in the beginning of it. So the never forget I love you thing. And then you tell them why. Like, never forget that I love you because you're an amazing person, because I see the endless potential in your life, because I hope you believe in yourself as much as I believe in you, because you're a rock star, whether you know it or not, right? Little girls, at least my little girls, so I'm going to speak from my personal experience. Little girls in my life, my child has a confidence issue. I don't know if that's every little girl, but mine does. My daughter is an amazing kid, and she never gives herself enough credit, right? So I could see getting her something like this so that she knows a little bit of a reassurance. So if you're going to do daughter and you're going to do graphic, start off with something like, never forget that I love you, or something like, never forget how much you mean to me, and then give them some type of reassurance that you can do this. When time gets tough, I have your back. Something along those lines as inspiration. Those type of messages work incredibly well. Then on the son and grandson end of things, this is the exact same message as the daughter, right? The only thing difference is the graphic in the middle. So if I was going to properly use this as research, what I would do is, okay, here's my words. How can I rearrange and redesign the words so they're not the same? How can I say the same thing without using the exact same words? And then what can I do with the icon that shows the difference in the connection between dad and daughter, if I'm doing for daughter? Or what can I do to show the connection between dad and son, right? So your template, if you want to do a dog tag, is a little bit of a phrase, icon in the middle, reassurance at the bottom. Okay. It's very similar, simple structure like what we have with our message card. The only difference is in the middle is usually a void, because I don't know if you guys can see my mouse or not, but there's a void in the middle for the necklace piece. Okay. So that's how you design good graphic pieces. This one it did okay, but it didn't do as good as this one or even this one. It was very busy, and you can kind of like, these words were hard to read. Simple and legible is still a key component to it. All right. So that's the product end of things. That was our motivation and what we used to generate graphic products. And remember, there's no buyer upload here. Okay. This is all just static. It's one design. Everybody gets the same design. If you want to do like a buyer upload piece for the dog tags, you could superimpose. So you could have text down below and then upload the picture of the daughter or of the son or of the spouse. Use something along the lines of drive safe. Remember we need you to come back to us, or something like that. Or drive safe. We need you in our lives. And then you put a picture of the family, right? And then the family is a buyer upload component. Does that make sense? So there's a lot of buyer upload options there. For dads, for Father's Day, you could do pictures of the kids. You could do pictures of the family. You could do a sonogram picture. There's a lot of different angles you can take. This is like a blank canvas as well, right? So leverage it. All right. Don't always just try message cards. Give this a shot. This also has a lower end price point. Normally it's like $40 to $50 instead of the $50 or like $60 to $80 range. So in the recessionary time period, you may find CPAs, cost per acquisitions, much cheaper by doing this type of product than doing a more expensive product. Okay. So just some ideas for you. Now, the second half of that, to make this store successful, we needed products, and we wanted to do products that most people didn't do, right? So we went the graphic route, buyer upload route. And then we were like, how do we get the traffic that's not Facebook, not Instagram, and not TikTok? So we had to start with our demographics. Who buys our stuff? Do you guys know the answers to that? The answers are there, and I didn't do it fancy as like little transitions, but there are big swaths of the market that make up the people who buy ShineOn products. They're obviously family centric. What I mean by that is that they have a family and they love their family enough to part money to buy a product, right? If you don't like your spouse, you're probably not going to buy them a gift from us. If you don't like your daughter too much, which I don't know why you would, I'm just saying, like, if you are an estranged person, you're probably not going to be very family centric. So family centric people buy our stuff. Conservative leaning people buy our stuff. Now, why would I pull politics in it? Well, it's not really politics. I'm just looking for giant swaths of people. And then we're going to go out and figure out if this group of people exists. Where do they hang out online? Yes, they hang out on Facebook. Yes, they hang out on TikTok. But where else do they hang out online? Right? So that's why I'm trying to lean into this, is big groups of people. And then where do they hang out? Another big group of people that buys our stuff are faith-based people. I put Christian in there as, that it's a very large religion. It doesn't have to be the only religion that we're looking at, right? So Christianity, Judaism, if you have a faith-based person, they like our stuff. Also, if we go socioeconomical, blue-collar people buy our stuff, right? No offense to ShineOn jewelry, but people who are into Louis and Gucci are not probably buying our jewelry, right? They're not. These are hardworking individuals that love their family, that work too hard. They're too busy in their lives. They have too much going on, like most of us, if you think about it. but I'm putting specific people here, specific groups of people here off of experience of sales. So what we're going to do now is go look for where people hang out that are family centric, that are conservative leaning. Do you know why I put conservative leaning there? Most conservatives have families. They're the core. Think of like middle America people. Christian faith-based usually have families, right? They're into their families. They're into that community of a religion, of a church. And again, it doesn't have to be Christianity. I'm just saying, using that as an example. Blue collar. You hang out where what do people like that are like hardworking blue collar folks? They like golf, they like football, they like baseball, so they like sports, right? So there's a lot of areas you can go that you use on Facebook and on TikTok to narrow down based off of interests, right? So like example of a blue collar, faith-based, family-centric person, I may choose deer hunting. And I'm going to specifically call out deer hunting because I know it works because I've used it. Deer hunting is made up of a bunch of blue collar people that are usually faith-based, most of the time Christians. They're conservative leaning and they have families. So it's a trick I use on Facebook is, where do these people hang out? What interests do they have beyond I have a dad, or I'm a male that's interested in daughter, which means I probably have a daughter, right? Go beyond that. And now we're going to step out beyond Facebook and TikTok. So we're going to start with smaller social networking sites. We have had some success on Twitter. It wasn't our biggest success. Most people think they write Twitter off. And whether you like that Elon Musk bought Twitter or you think he's ruined Twitter doesn't really matter to me. All I care about is there are people on that site that will buy our stuff, right? And the short answer is yes. Yes, they will. So you have video ads and you have image ads on Twitter, just like you do Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. So if you haven't tried Twitter, not many people have for our stuff. It's kind of a big blue ocean. Do I promise you it's going to work? I can't, right? Like, I'm not you. I don't know what you're going to run there. But don't just think about the giant social networks, right? If you go, well, what about social networks? Great. There's TikTok, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's Twitter, there's Snapchat, and Pinterest. I personally would not run on Snapchat. I have not found any success with it whatsoever. I ran Pinterest a year and a half ago with no success at all. However, traffic on Pinterest is ridiculously cheap. So if I was going to leverage Pinterest, I would do a very small budget, populate a view content audience, meaning drive a whole bunch of traffic to my product page, populate that really big audience, and then create a custom audience on Facebook and on TikTok, because just because a user comes from Pinterest doesn't mean that the Facebook pixel and the TikTok pixel can't pick them up. Okay. So just like Susie from Missouri might come to us from a Pinterest ad, but more than likely she also has a Facebook account and also has a TikTok account. So it would still populate into that custom audience. But I also want you to think about getting outside of the box, meaning take one of our big groups of people that we talked about in the previous slide. In this screenshot example, I did Christian social networking apps. And then guess what? There's a whole bunch of communication and social networking apps that are just for Christians. Then do it for family social networking apps. Then do it for the next one, right? So it's all of the big interests that we talked about, the big swaths of demographics. Search them. Okay. Conservative social networking apps. Go through the lists. Not every social networking site is going to have paid ads, but most do. Most do. And nobody except for us, is running traffic on any of these sites. That you want a blue ocean opportunity? Absolutely. I haven't personally tried. So I see a question. What do you think about LinkedIn? I haven't personally run traffic there. In my head, LinkedIn is always like B2B, not B2C. So business to business, not business to consumer, but it's worth a test, right? Like there's no guarantee that any of this will ever work or will always work. That is the risk we agree to and accept as digital entrepreneurs. We have a product. We need traffic and eyeballs on our products. Here's also what I can tell you. If you go out to yes, Rumble, Gab, there's a bunch of Truth Social. There's a bunch of them out there, right? That are conservative leaning social networking apps. My job right now is to get your brain going. You want to set a budget that you're willing to invest to see if that network is willing to work or not. That's the hard part, right? But it's just like Facebook. If I'm willing to spend $100 on this test to see if I can work with anything on Facebook, it's the same level of risk, in my opinion. What I want to call out is do not expect the same conversion rate on other networking sites as you will on Facebook. Facebook charges a gob, a giant premium on their CPM. So believe it or not, $20 to $40 CPM is not good. It's really expensive when you compare it to other sites on the internet. Other sites on the internet may charge you $3 per CPM, right? So it's very spread out. So if you have, just keep this in mind, the cheaper the CPM, the lower your conversion rate is more than likely going to be. So if you're enjoying a 3, 4, or 5% conversion rate because it's Facebook traffic, and then you switch to a site, let's just call it Newsbreak or Newsmax or any other site, CPMs are going to be way cheaper, but the conversion rate's also going to go down because cheap traffic is not as qualified as expensive traffic. That's why Facebook can get away with the expensive traffic. So just want to call that out. Don't expect the same conversion rates. Really what you're looking in is return on investment, right? I put $100 in, I got $300 out. This is a gold mine, right? That's what we want in an ideal world. I see another Facebook user says, I've seen many on Newsbreak app. Guess who's you've seen on Newsbreak? You're welcome. So there's another little tip for you. So there's social networking sites. Where else can they go? There's a lot of traffic out there. Search Middle America cities, find their local news sites, and negotiate direct site buys. Okay? So here's an example. Tuscaloosa, Alabama local news is what I use as the Google search. And then guess what? Their local news, their city news is their sites come up. And then is it more legwork? Yes, it is. But you're talking about where nobody else advertises your stuff. Totally like I'm the only person running. How many of you are looking to run in Tuscaloosa, Alabama on a news site? Now, I'm not picking on, if anybody's watching this from Tuscaloosa, I'm not picking on Tuscaloosa. It is a middle of America city that is probably full of people that are hardworking, blue collar, faith-based, family-centric, and conservative leaning. That's it, right? Like we have sort of, I live in Florida. There's an awful lot of people that moved out of blue states to come here. I don't like that we've gotten so politicized as a country. I don't like that if I'm a conservative, therefore I must hate all liberal ideas. That's not how we became a great country. And I'll get off the political thing. But I don't think of it as because of that mindset shift since COVID came out in the United States. It's relatively easy to pick out. Again, we're thinking for blue collar, family centric, faith-based people that are conservative leaning. There's dozens and dozens, if not hundreds of cities in our country that are filled with people like that. Find their local news sites, negotiate small buys. Now, some sites are like, well, we'll run it for up to 2 or 3 months, but it's like $5,000. So depending on your budget, it might not be financially able to do that stuff. Other small news sites would be like, yeah, do it for a couple $100. You have to negotiate with them. And again, it is more legwork. You just have to weigh, is it more legwork? Is that worth it? Because nobody's on it, right? So you have to weigh whether the opportunity cost is too great or is well worth it. And I can't answer that, only you can. All right, final one is take our main demographic segments and find forums. The old school forums, they still exist. Who knew? Little text forums. So I did family forums, and there's dozens, hundreds of them. Why are family forums important? And then underneath it is, here's family forums, better family relationships through blah, blah, blah. And it's not just family, like family forums, Christian forums, homeschool forums, people who like deer hunting forums, right? Like there's a ton of that stuff out there. Now, the note on forums, not every forum has ads. So pick a few, find the ones that have ads. Some do direct site buys, some have ad platforms, some just do Google AdSense. So if you want to go that route, you could go Google Display Network and then narrow down your demographic. Okay. So there's a ton of traffic on the internet that is not TikTok, Facebook, or Instagram. And using those types of traffic sources and using just our graphic products, we literally did $933,000 in sales last year. So is there opportunity outside of those three traffic sources? You better believe it. It is a giant blue ocean of traffic. So that's the education part of today. I hope that was helpful and it generated ideas, because that's the point, right? Like, it's if we spoon fed every one of you the exact same thing, and we say, do step 1, do step 2, do step 3, do step 4. The process is important. Steps 1, 2, 3, and 4 are vital to your success. That's why we teach you this. But if you only do the same thing as everybody else, nobody's going to get any great results, because we're all feeding off of each other. If every one of us did a daughter message card, and there's 7,000 people running daughter message cards on Facebook, and they're all relatively the same images and the same videos, how successful are we all going to be? The reason I wanted to come on today is to start generating your ideas. Either create unique ideas for Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram, or take the old ideas that worked and find places that haven't seen them yet, right? So use the noodle. This is your premium here. This is why you are a business owner. You learn the step-by-step process, and then you leverage your creativity from a product creation standpoint and a where to stick your product standpoint. Everybody does the exact same thing. We're all not going to get the results we want, because there's only so many ad slots in Facebook, in TikTok, in Instagram. And if everybody's running daughter, and if everybody's doing the exact same message and they're all running it there, not some people will make a fortune. Because like I said at the beginning of this, whoever's first, Facebook will give favor to in the ad auction. And they do that. It's just economics for them. If I start a daughter product, let's say it's a love knot daughter message, and I happen to get super lucky with a pocket of traffic and it's going crazy, right? Like it's scaling, and I'm starting to spend $3,000-$5,000 a day on ads. And then you come behind me with the exact same product and you want to spend $45 a day. Is Facebook going to give you the same fair chance, the same premium quality traffic as it does me, who's spending $5,000 plus a day? Think about it, right? So you have to make your product stand out from my product so that people will start paying more attention to your ad, your product, than mine. That's the only way you're getting my market share. Either that or my scale cycle is done and I burnt out the audience for my particular product, I then lower my ad spend, and you guys just happen to get in at the right time, and then you get a chance to scale yours. That's how ad auctions work. It's not a secret, right? And I don't know if anyone's ever told you guys that before, but that's how they work. That's why, like, if you ever have experienced drop shipping or tried drop shipping, I've done millions of dollars selling drop shipping products. And usually it's like 20 products that 10,000 people are trying to sell. And unless you have a unique angle or a unique category, like a unique creative, if you aren't first or second to the marketplace, you're not really going to make money on that product with the exact same thing. Because Facebook has already given favor to those that started it and they've scaled. Therefore, they're earning that traffic because they're outspending you. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. Okay, so we're at the Q&A part. So start throwing in your questions. I'm going to scroll back up to the list, see if there's any questions that I haven't answered yet, and then we will start answering. So feel free to post your questions and we'll start getting into them. Scroll down. I scrolled up too far. We're still in we're still in the welcome stage. You guys commented a lot. All right, so we're going to throw in Facebook user says Twitter. Yes, Twitter is absolutely a good one. It's a little tricky to dial in, but once you dial it in, it works very, very well. Don't shy away from it. Adam says Walmart, as far as a target audience goes. I've made a lot of sales on Facebook from the Walmart interest. Absolutely. So if you think about blue collar Central America, right? Like Walmart is probably the first thing that pops into most people's minds. So like Walmart, Sam's Club, Costco. Where do those people hang out outside of Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok, right? I had a question about what do you think about LinkedIn? LinkedIn, I haven't personally tried it, so I don't know from experience sake. I do know that it's more corporate America, so you might be in the upper middle class for the average daily user on LinkedIn. So you might try it, but I would have a very strict budget. And then if that budget is blown, or like, hey, I'm going to risk $100 to see if I can get any kind of traction on LinkedIn, I would run that. I would personally, like, what product would I try on LinkedIn? I would personally run acrylic, and I would do it as like a kid's nightlight. So I would make my design, so it'd be the rectangle one because we have the light base. And I would do some kind of kid-centric design where you could add their name, and then it would be like a picture of a unicorn, or a picture of a pirate ship or something like that. Make it look really cool. So when it glows, it's like, wow, that's amazing, right? The reason I say that for LinkedIn specifically, and it's a good idea for all networks, but why I would run it with LinkedIn is I personally have purchased an acrylic nightlight for all three of my children. And I would, this isn't braggadocious. It's just, I am in that upper middle class, upper, echelon of people. I don't hang out on LinkedIn, but I'm not a corporate person. So what I mean by that is I'm not going to look to buy gifts, jewelry gifts on LinkedIn. But if I'm on LinkedIn and I happen to see a really cool nightlight that I think my son might like, I'm impulsive too, right? Like I'll go buy that because my kid will like it, right? So I wouldn't shy away from LinkedIn. I would just be strategic about what I would post there. So it would be something along the lines of a gift for a kid. But think about like if I was going to do a jewelry piece, my favorite jewelry piece we have, no one sells, or very few people sell, except for me. And that's the Simple Heart one. I forget what our official name is, but that Simple Heart one, that one is my favorite jewelry piece that we have. As I love simple, understated jewelry. That's just me as an individual, right? Rumble, it was a question. I personally haven't run traffic on Rumble. I know people have, and they've had some success doing it. So definitely worth a test. Bridal event sites, you better believe it, right? Like if you are going to do a wedding season's in play. Honestly, if I was going to do wedding event sites, I would start right now. And then next year, I would start hitting them up around like March, because weddings start in March and they end in October. Like end of October is really end of wedding season. Me personally, my plan for wedding season this year is to focus after Father's Day and until September. And then in September, I'll start my Q4 testing, because by the time we get to, no offense, I'm not going to, I'll get you want to get the upswing of the trend, not the downswing of the trend. It's easier to scale. So you want the upswing of when the event is trending. So I would focus it on there. If you want to get Father's Day and wedding season, that I would do Father's Day like immediately, if you haven't already started working on Father's Day. And then as soon as I got something caught, meaning a product that's break even or higher, and I could scale for Father's Day as we get closer to it, then I would start product creation for wedding season. For those of you in the masterclass, I'm already, next week, I'll be creating my wedding products anyway, because I've got ads running for the Father's Day test already going. So it's a great idea. It's thinking out of the box. Where do people hang out that will buy our stuff? Right? It's beyond just Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. What if we target people that like watching Newsmax? This one is, what if we target people like watching Newsmax? Will it work? Absolutely. Right? Because Newsmax is a conservative-leaning news site. So yes, absolutely give that a shot. You've got the right demographic of people, okay, that will buy our stuff. What about Etsy? Do we need to run ads on Etsy? So I personally do not have a lot of experience running Etsy products. Okay. So I'm coming from a general knowledge base. I will never say that I'm an expert until I actually run this stuff. So just throwing that out there, take my answers with a grain of salt. I believe with Etsy, if you want to gain traction on a new store, running PPC ads is the fastest way to do so. I think your traditional SEO strategies, where you keyword stuff, the gift items, and you do your product description correctly, and you have the imagery correctly. Again, on a marketplace, it's vital, if you want to be successful, to create your own imagery. So that's, again, more work, right? If it's organic, because you don't have to pay for traffic to be seen on Etsy. I would highly recommend, for all of you that are Etsy people or Amazon people, get the sample kit. So you have our boxes and you have our products, and then use our rendering system to generate the product and be the product listing. And then I would go in and I would shoot my own stuff, my own pictures, and my own backgrounds, my own videos. And why do I say that? Because it's unique to you, right? I don't have your house. I don't have your kitchen. I don't have your pots and pans. I don't have your couch, right? Like, I don't have your setup. So all of the imagery you guys take is exactly uniquely yours, which means if you upload those unique images to your Etsy listings, you now have unique creatives. You stand out from the crowd. You're no longer a part of, oh, this must be another one of those things, because there is banner blindness that can happen if everybody chooses the same the same renders. Our renders are world class, phenomenal, absolutely love them. If you want to stand out in a marketplace, I would do the extra legwork, and I would take my own pictures and my own videos, because then I stand out. So then I feel like you have a puncher's chance of getting traction into page one. You have unique creatives that stand out, that make you look like a different shop that everybody's coming from ShineOn, right? So you have unique creatives. You work hard on your product description. You properly keyword rank yourself. You put the right tags in. And then you've got a chance of gaining organic traffic over time. If you do all of that work, then bump it up with some PPC, you'll probably get faster traction to your store. But again, it's your business. You have to figure out what you can afford to run for ads. Okay. Wendy said, had another good idea for homeschool groups. Yes. I don't know about most, but the large swath of homeschoolers homeschool because they don't like traditional school. They don't like the values that are lacking in the education system. And it's true. We don't teach ethics and morality and right and wrong in schools anymore. We just don't, right? So homeschool groups definitely are filled to the brim with people that buy our stuff. They are highly family centric. More than likely, they are faith based. And whether they are super conservative or they're super liberal, the overwhelming aspect is that tie to the family, right? So that absolutely would be a good idea for this. Let's see. Andrew says, I made sale on Rumble. I can set my own CPM. I set it to $1 and still traffic is insanely cheap. Not explosive sales yet there, but do make cheap sales. $1 CPM. So I guarantee you, Andrew, if I follow up with the question of, is your conversion rate anywhere close on Rumble traffic to Facebook traffic? I'm pretty sure you would say no. If you're still watching, go ahead and answer that. If not, then I'll just assume I'm right. What else? Can I specify target audiences on Google? I don't run a ton of traffic on Google, and definitely not. The traffic I run right now on Google is shopping. So I'll do my shopping ads around it, and then I make sure I keyword stuff your product listing. So if you have a Shopify store and you want to do Google shopping ads, it needs help, right? So you need to bump up the gift centric keywords, not just say gift for daughter, gift for dog, like gift for girl, gift for, don't just do those. It has to be natural. So like, get this amazing gift for your daughter. She will absolutely love it. If your daughter is hard to buy for, this would make a perfect gift for her. Something that's natural that their robots will pick up as product description, not keyword stuffing, if that makes sense. But that'll help it find your product show up in the product listings as well. In terms of ad account bans, I have a story about Facebook these days. For over a year, I had a Facebook shop disabled. So I could run ads. My account was good. My page was good. Instagram's shop was fine, but I could not run anything. My Facebook shop was shut down. And every time I appealed it, I got some random email and it never made sense. And I finally reached out to their chat support because I had tried a few different times, and come to find out, Facebook shops, the sales channel, has their own, on Shopify, has their own support team. So if you have ad problems, you go through the ads manager chat support. That's a team. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I thought it was all one. So I went to, in the sales channel, there's get support. And then you fill out the little thing that's like, how do you want to talk? Do you want to email or chat? So I chose chat, obviously. Got on, and they're like, well, it took some convincing, and I know how to talk to them. So it's a little bit different for me. I was very persistent. I'm like, please escalate this issue so a human reviews my account. I have no intention of violating any policy. I was able to run my store for over a year. I have very benign products. I'm not pushing the envelope. I'm not violating any copyrights. I'm not doing anything that I know of that's actually violating your policy. And so they escalated. It took about 4 days. And then lo and behold, on, I think it was Monday of this week, my Facebook shop was re-enabled. So I believe if you are very persistent and you can show evidence that you did not violate any of their policies, you have a real good chance of getting things back. I have not heard a lot of chatter lately of ad accounts getting shut down or business manager bans or anything crazy like that in a long time. So I think it's better. I haven't heard. If I'm wrong, please comment below and let me know that your stuff got banned. I don't know. But I do know that if your account gets banned and you're like, what the heck did I do? I didn't do anything. Definitely reach out to them and be persistent and ask them if they can't help you, which more than likely the person you're talking to can't. Ask them to escalate to whatever group can. So a human can review, not their algorithm. Okay. So hopefully that's helpful. How about native ads? Native ads are tricky. I think it can work if you dial in your whitelist. So don't do run of network on native ads. I would definitely go out first, research a bunch of websites that you would want traffic on, or use whatever native ad platform you're going to use to really dial in the demographics. Be very restrictive. And then as you're running traffic, be very aggressive on your blacklist. And if you haven't run native ads. I just spoke a bunch of foreign language to you. If you've had run native ads, then you'll understand what I just said. With this in mind, do you go in the further advertise? So this is a little plug for ShineOn Pro. We don't. In the masterclass, we will. So ShineOn Pro, the coaching call there is really designed as a Q&A function for you guys. So if you are running traffic or you have products or stores, it's for like, you come on, you ask your questions, we answer your questions. The more in-depth tutorials and education stuff is reserved for masterclass. Simple heart necklace come back in stock. It's been out for a long time. This question is, will silver simple heart necklace come back in stock? It's been out for a long time. I will ask. I don't have an answer for you right now. So I will ask and I will answer back in this chat. Let me see. I'm banned all now. What are the key factors that contribute? That's a long question. Okay, so I'm going to go with this one, and this will be the final one. It's like a long question, so I'll do my best. Actually, I think she ran out of room typing it. What are the key factors that contribute to successful selling in the jewelry industry, and how can I leverage them to maximize my sales potential? If I were to narrow down one thing, especially for our products, it's emotion. You have to sell emotion. You are not selling a necklace. You are not selling a dog tag. You are not selling a watch. You are selling the emotion, and the jewelry piece justifies the expense of the emotion they're trying to convey to their loved one or friend or cousin or whomever. Okay. How do I find and target my dream customers? It depends on what niche you're going into. You have to pick for anybody new, I always say pick one niche and make it work. Don't pick Father's Day for a week and a half and then give up on it and then switch to wedding, work on it for a week, and then switch to daughter, work on it for a week, and then switch to whatever, and then switch to whatever. Pick a niche and stay in it until you make it work. That's what I would say on that. Could you provide insights into the target market? Target market is, like I said, it really depends on what niche and product you're going after and what angle. That would determine what target market I would go after. Like, I would not target deer hunting if I wanted a female to buy, to be the gift giver, to be the buyer. There's just not as many female deer hunters. So I would choose a different target. So depending on what angle I would do, I would change my target market based off the gift giver. How can I identify and effectively reach potential customers who are interested in these products? There's, like I covered earlier today, there is endless supplies of traffic sites out there. Again, it just depends on your ad budget and what you're willing to invest on ads. Paid marketing is just that. It's paid. Most people start on Facebook. Some people nowadays are starting on TikTok. You can scale on both. You can be successful on both. It really just depends on your background experience and your ad budgets. And then what strategies or tools does ShineOn offer to support sellers in promoting and marketing their jewelry? So we have many different options on it. We do calls like this. I'm going to plug my thing, the Shine, because that's I do every day is a ShineOn Masterclass. It is the most in-depth training program I think ever created about e-commerce and selling print-on-demand products. It's $17 million in ad spend experience that I've spent over a decade in all kinds of e-commerce, including ShineOn products. Last product that I sold to scale at ShineOn to just over $1 million in sales on one product. So yeah, I would plug my stuff because it's what I do every day and I love it. And we have a fantastic community in circle.io, and we get together once a week and I go over what I'm doing, and I do live case studies where right now I've got a ChatGPT case study running for Father's Day, and I'm about to kick off an acrylic case study featuring wedding. And yesterday's coaching call, I literally set up ads live because that was a request from our group that they see me set up my ads for a test. So I did. And that's what I do. So that is going to wrap up our question and answer session. Turn this off. And I appreciate you guys so much for hanging out with me today. I know I'm not Michael, but I try. And hopefully you learned some stuff, and hopefully you got a lot of great ideas. And the biggest piece of advice that I can give each and every one of you is take an idea and put massive, massive action behind it. Even if you only have an hour a day because you're in a job and it's hard and I've got kids, like I was there. I worked. I had a full-time job. I was a football coach. So I left my house at 6 o'clock in the morning. I got home at 7 o'clock at night. I had a little baby boy. And then I would go into my bedroom. I would throw on my laptop and I'd work until about 11 o'clock at night. Right. I had no social life, but I had a dream and I had the perseverance to figure it out. And that's why I get to talk to you today. I live a blessed life. Truly thankful that I was able to, it's not all good times, right? There's a lot of heartache and hard work. And sometimes you work your dangdest and it doesn't give you any success from it. So stick with it, put effort into it. And over time and experience you gain from that work, you will find success for you, whatever that means to you. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. You have a great rest of your day and enjoy your weekends, depending on where you're at. Some of you may already be enjoying your weekend. So thanks so much, and I will see you next time.